Chasing the stars, we'll stride into the dawn. Never back down till the battle is won. Face each foe with hearts brave and true, unafraid of the unknown, because I'll face it all with you.
Hello, I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. So, Wish. God, this movie was panned by Disney fans when it came out. And on the one hand, I can kind of see why. While I personally thought the movie was pretty good overall, though not one of Disney's best, it didn't help that it was heavily advertised as their 100-year anniversary movie. Between the build-up and its official place in Disney history, it's no wonder most were less than thrilled with it. But now that it's been out for a year, I thought it'd be fun to look back at 3 of the more notable problems people listed about this movie and compare my thoughts. First and foremost, I'm not going to compare the film to the scrapped concepts that have come out over the past year. I'd rather judge a movie based on what it did, not what it could have done. I don't think any of the concepts that they went with are inherently good or bad, the trick is in the execution. And to be fair, the scrapped concepts could have also been handled poorly. Humanoid shapeshifter Star feels like he could have been a poor man's genie. Well, okay, technically Genie was a poor man's genie, but you get my point! The first major issue people seem to have is the references to past films. Many people really seem to get annoyed by the constant Easter eggs to other Disney movies scattered throughout the film. Personally, I think they work as they're subtle enough to not be noticed by someone who wouldn't get them. For the most part, the last 5 minutes really laid it on thick. Second is the music. Ooh boy, were the songs of this movie panned. Meanwhile, I like the soundtrack well enough. I'll admit, I'm a Star is bland at best and annoying at worst, and At All Cost was very clearly a poorly repurposed love song. But Welcome to Rosas is a fun opening number. This Wish I'm willing to put up there as one of the great Disney ballads, plus I love how its reprise was used in the climax, and knowing what I know now is a great war chant number, kind of reminding me of Ready as I'll Ever Be from Tangled the series. But then we get the big one, This Is the Thanks I Get. When this song was released early online, it was fascinating to see the reactions. Of course, some hated it, as they felt it was way too upbeat to be a villain song, but just as many people seemed to defend it, saying that there's nothing wrong with an upbeat villain song, even citing Gaston from Beauty and the Beast as an example. Though I have to admit, if we're gonna make that comparison, this is like if Gaston was alone singing the song to himself. Personally, I do think it's the best song in the movie. Me. But I will admit the one thing that does annoy me is this bit. Maybe if there was some sort of diegetic source, like, say, to go back to the Gaston comparison, if Magnifico had his own version of the Bibettes, it wouldn't have bothered me as much. But as is, I just kind of found it an annoying addition. And this gets into probably the biggest problem, King Magnifico himself as a villain and his evil plan. Many have stated that Magnifico's desire to never grant most of the wishes he holds on to isn't actually bad at all because A, the people willingly give them to him, and B, he's right when he states that not every wish should be granted. First, let's talk about the willingness point, because is it? It's stated that giving up your wish is a requirement for living in Rosas. While the immigrants are indeed making this choice, what about the kids that are raised here? They grow up with the expectation that once they turn 18, they'll give up their wishes too. Is it something they want to do or just feel like they need to? And what if they don't? Are they forced to leave the only home they've ever known? And regardless of any of that, the citizens are giving up their wishes because they're led to believe that one day they will be granted. And then of course, there's why they won't be granted. Because yes, not all wishes are good ones. Some are ill-conceived and reckless at best and outright dangerous at worst. However, the movie shows that that's not what Magnifico cares about. Using Asha's grandpa's wish as an example, he mentally twists what is honestly a harmless and well-meaning wish into something that could threaten him. The problem with Magnifico isn't that he refuses to grant certain wishes, it's that he only grants the ones that he can 100% guarantee won't be a threat, not to his people, but to his power. All he's really interested in is keeping the citizens complacent and disguising it as benevolence. To be fair though, the movie probably should have done more to show that. As I thought more about it, I realized this movie does have a problem with show don't tell. While there are a few hints of his vanity, including artwork of himself all over town and the cookies shaped like his face, the movie does more to tell us that he's obsessed with his power, mostly in song form, than actually show it. I think it's because we mostly see him through Asha's eyes, largely seeing the persona he puts on for his people and even his wife, rather than what he's actually like behind closed doors. Overall, I can't really defend this as one of Disney's best movies, but it's certainly not the worst. It's just decent. Had it been made its own thing rather than being the big 100-year anniversary movie, maybe more people would see it that way, but Disney really raised the expectations way too high. I'm the review reviewer. You review it, I review you.